So, if you've been online recently, you have probably seen this absolutely wild story making the rounds. The claim that Donald Trump was offered the job of Iran's supreme leader. It sounds, completely unbelievable. And today, we're going to get to the bottom of what was actually said, and in the process, uncover a much bigger, much more complex story of modern psychological warfare. Okay, let's get right into it.
It all kicked off with memes and jokes that looked something like this. I mean, the whole idea of Ayatollah Trump is just so bizarre that, of course, it went instantly viral. It grabbed everyone's attention. But where on earth did this even come from?
Well, it came from headlines just like this one. You had articles and social media posts spreading like wildfire, all repeating the exact same incredible story, that Iran had formally offered its highest, most powerful position to Donald Trump, and that he just, politely declined. It's a sensational claim for sure, and it totally captured the world's imagination.
Except, that's not the real story. Not even close. The viral headlines completely missed the context, and by doing that, they also missed the actual news, a far more significant statement that Trump made in that very same speech. Okay, so this is the quote that started the whole thing. But look, context here is absolutely everything. Trump wasn't saying Iran offered him the job. He was making a really dark joke. The punchline was that the position of supreme leader is so dangerous, basically a giant target for the US, that Iranians are trying to offer it to each other, and everybody is turning it down saying no thank you. The key thing to get is that the offer was never for him. It was all part of a joke.
Right, so the whole supreme leader thing was just a classic case of an internet misunderstanding. But the thing that the viral headlines completely blew past, and what's way more important, was the other thing Trump said. This wasn't a joke, it was a calculated, strategic move in a much, much larger conflict.
And here it is, this is the bombshell. In pretty much the same breath, Trump makes this absolutely astonishing claim, and he attributes it to the CIA. Now, this wasn't a joke. This was a targeted statement, a perfect example of what modern strategists are calling narrative warfare.
So what in the world is narrative warfare? Well, think of it as weaponizing information. It's the art of using stories, rumors, and claims, whether they're true or not, to attack an opponent's cultural, social, and political weak spots. The goal is to cause chaos and instability from the inside out.
And this shows you just how surgically precise that strategy can be. Trump's claim is no accident. Why? Because in Iran, homosexuality isn't just a taboo, it can be a capital offense, punishable by death. So by labeling the new leader as gay, he's striking at a massive cultural and religious vulnerability. He's aiming to completely delegitimize this person in the eyes of his own people and his own military.
The goals here are huge, and they've got a lot of layers. You're trying to sow doubt and division. The hope is that maybe some generals see a weak leader and think about a coup, or the different factions inside the government will start turning on each other. It's a very deliberate attempt to cripple the Iranian leadership without ever having to fire a single shot.
But look, this isn't a one-way street. Iran isn't just sitting back and taking this. They've launched their own psychological counterattack, and they're spinning a narrative that's designed to turn a potential US military strength into a really devastating weakness. So Iran's counter-narrative, which is being spread through their own channels, lays out this pretty clever trap. They're basically saying they anticipate a US attack on the super-strategic Karg Island, which is where their key oil reserves are. But instead of just defending it, the plan is to actually let US forces in, surround them, and capture as many as possible, basically turning invaders into hostages.
And what happens if this plan actually works? Well, the potential prize for them is enormous. If they have captured American soldiers as leverage, Iran could demand not just an end to the fighting, but massive war reparations and a formal, written guarantee that neither the US nor Israel will ever attack them again. I mean, the stakes here are incredibly, incredibly high.
So this war of words, this battle of stories and narratives, it's really just one layer of a much larger and, frankly, much more dangerous conflict. While this psychological battle is going on, real-world tensions are escalating, and they're escalating fast.
And make no mistake, this isn't just some theoretical exercise. At the time this information came out, this direct conflict had been live for 27 days. This isn't a distant threat on the horizon, it's an ongoing crisis that's heating up in real time.
And the dangers are just multiplying. You have hardliners in Iran who are now pushing to fast-track a nuclear bomb because they believe it's their only real defense. We already know they have missiles that can hit Israel. And then on the other side, the US is apparently getting ready to deploy unmanned, AI-driven drone boats in combat for the very first time. You've got brand new technologies and very old fears all converging at once.
So, it leaves us with this final thought. As we watch these targeted narratives and strategic disinformation being deployed with the same kind of precision as a guided missile, you just have to wonder, in the